What's up, guys? Obviously, it's Captain Obvious, and welcome to a one-day late episode of the Armory. Today, I'll be taking a look at the 3-round burst assault rifles, the M16A4, KH2002, and the AN-94. These 3 assault rifles should be treated as medium to long-range rifles, and that is exactly how I will be taking a look at them in today's video. We will start with the M16A4 and move on to the other 2 a little bit later. The M16A4 is closely related to its M16A3 counterpart. Now, these 2 rifles are very similar except for the fact that the M16A4 has a different recoil pattern than the M16A3. When comparing the roles of the M16A4 to the other 3-round burst assault rifles in Battlefield 3, I like to use the M16A4 as more of a medium range weapon. Not close range, not long range, right in the middle, and that's where I feel it suits it best, and that is how I will be analyzing it in today's video. The M16A4 has a fairly standard damage amount with 25 to 18.4 damage, with the drop-off beginning at 8 meters and ending at 50 meters. In core mode, your shots to kill will be 4 to 6 shots to kill at maximum range, and in hardcore there will be 3 shots to 4 shots to kill at maximum range. The maximum potential rate of fire for the M16A4 is 800 rounds per minute. Now, this can be achieved by overbursting, which is a technique in which you pull the trigger fast enough to achieve rate of fire speeds of the fully automatic rifles. Your suppressive effect is 7.0% and the muzzle velocity is 650 meters per second. Your maximum effective range is 975 meters. Now, these numbers are not really too special because they are pretty standard with the rest of the assault rifle class. The reload speed on the M16A4 is the fastest in its class, being at 1.80 seconds. The empty reload is 2.37 and your threshold or the cancel reload time is 1.53 and 2.015 seconds. The multiplier is what you multiply the reload speeds by in order to achieve your threshold reload speed. The M16A4 has a very heavy vertical recoil because the horizontal recoils are pretty balanced. So you have to be paying attention to the vertical recoil to make sure this weapon does not get out of control, and use that 3-round burst to your advantage and control the weapon more than you may be able to control in a fully automatic assault rifle. It has low ADS spread, which means it has high ADS accuracy, making it a fairly accurate weapon at long range. The M16A4's magazine size is 30 rounds plus 1 in the chamber, and there is nothing special at all here. Now, like I said toward the beginning of this video, I said that I will not be talking about aggressive style play using these rifles. So that means I will only be going over one class setup, but I will be spending more time on that setup so you guys can use it to your fullest advantage at the ranges at which I recommend using these rifles. So these rifles are mainly suited for medium range fire, especially M16A4. Now, I suggest using an American holographic sight because it is the best holo sight in my opinion in this game, and is unlocked earlier than the Russian style sights. A bipod is necessary on this weapon to eliminate almost all the recoil when shooting at longer range, and a flash suppressor will help keep down that vertical recoil that is very powerful on the M16A4. Now, the reason I do not say use a longer range sight is because the visual recoil is actually increased with those weapons, so you want to keep that visual recoil down while decreasing the actual recoil of the weapon to make it a very controllable weapon and very effective in a lot of situations. And now, before I finish up this review, I have a few last minute tips to give to you guys. Now, like I've said a lot, this is a mainly medium range assault rifle, and controlling that vertical recoil will make this weapon extremely effective. It is not as powerful as the other 2 burst fire rifles, but in some situations the M16A4 can even beat out an automatic assault rifle at medium range. So controlling vertical recoil is extremely key to this weapon. You also have to learn how to overburst to make sure it is actually potent at closer range, so you're not left in the dust against a higher rate of fire assault rifle. So that is it for the M16A4 rifle. It is a good rifle, good reliable weapon, great at medium range, and that's the only place I suggest you guys using it. Let's move on to the KH2002, which is out of these rifles my favorite. Now, the reason I love the KH2002 the most is because of its very controllable nature. I'll be talking about that later in this segment. Let's start with the damage to start. The damage of this rifle is 25 to 18.4 with the damage drop beginning at 8 meters and ending at 50 meters. Extremely standard for the entire class. Shots to kill in core mode are 4 to 6, and in hardcore mode that drops down to 3 to 4 shots to kill. The KH2002 has a rate of fire of 800 rounds per minute with the suppressive effect being 7.0%. The muzzle velocity is 650 meters per second, and the maximum effective range is 975 meters. As you guys can tell, this is extremely similar to the M16A4, so there's really no difference at all between these two rifles in these statistics. The one downside to the KH2002 is its reload speed, with a reload speed of 2.9 to 3.65 on empty, and thresholds being 2.465 and 3.1025. The KH2002 has a obnoxiously slow reload. Now, honestly, this is for balance, because the next factor in how this weapon works is exactly why I love the KH2002. The KH2002 has awesome recoil patterns. The left and right horizontal recoils are very balanced. They are exactly the same value, meaning it will not bounce to either side in a particular fashion. It will go one way and go back the other way the same amount of time. The vertical recoil is also extremely low, being only 0.2 of a value. That is a very low value. It is about 0.1 less than the M16A4. I love the KH2002. The spread is awesome. The recoil is awesome, making it a very controllable weapon. The magazine size is 30 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. That's it. Nothing special. In the recommended setup, I'm going to play to the KH2002's strengths. There are not many downsides to this weapon that can be eliminated via attachments. Therefore, we can augment the controllability of this weapon even more, making it the most accurate rifle we can make it. Alright, so for the recommended setup, we're going to go with an American holographic sight because it's my favorite, the bipod because there's no downsides at all, and when you deploy it, it almost eliminates all recoil. The heavy barrel is a great option for the KH2002 to further increase its accuracy, and the vertical recoil boost that it gets from the heavy barrel is not too significant, and it's even less than some of the other assault rifles by default. So it's a great option for this rifle, increasing the longer range accuracy, and it's just a great overall controllable weapon. And now the one tip I can give to you guys regarding the KH2002 is one I've said in the past a lot. Controllability. You have to control the KH2002 to make it the best assault rifle you can possibly make it. It is already extremely controllable, and increasing that controllability even more by limiting rates of fire and using the attachments to your advantage will make it the best assault rifle in the game if you know how to use it. And now let's move on to the marksman's rifle of choice, the AN-94. I have a love-hate relationship with the AN-94. I love playing aggressively, but I also love being extremely precise and accurate. The AN-94 complements only one of those. In closer range, it is extremely limited in what it can do. But at longer range, it will destroy. It will absolutely destroy an enemy. It is an extremely precise weapon, and hopefully I can make you guys use the AN-94 to its biggest advantage, accuracy. I'm going to zip through all these stats as quick as possible. So the damage on the AN-94 is 25 to 18.4 with a drop beginning at 8 meters and ending at 50. Shots to kill are 4 to 6 in core and 3 to 4 in hardcore modes. The AN-94 can be switched to fully auto mode, and that rate of fire is 600 rounds per minute. But for its 2-round burst firing mode, the rate of fire has a potential of 1200 rounds per minute. If you can pull that trigger fast enough, you can reach rate of fire speeds higher than any other weapon in this entire game. It's extremely hard to do, and don't even attempt to try it at closer range because you will just end up missing your shot. The suppressive effect is 7.0%, and the muzzle velocity is 600 meters per second. The maximum effective range is 900 meters, and these last two values are a little bit actually lower than some of the other rifles, but that is actually in balancing purposes for the extremely accurate nature of this weapon. Alright, so the reload speeds are nothing to get excited over either. They are 2.60 normal reload and 3.50 for an empty reload. Threshold is 1.95 and 2.625 seconds. The multiplier is a little bit lower than the other rifles at 0.75 seconds, and like I said, it's nothing special at all. Alright, so I have two examples as to what the recoil patterns are for this gun. The first and third empty of the magazines I do will be examples of limiting the fire rate. As you guys can tell, the recoil is extremely controllable, and the spread is very accurate. Look at that. Look at that tight bullet group over down range. It is very accurate. Now this one right here is pulling the trigger as fast as I can. It's really not that fast, but that's what you can expect from using it both fully auto and by using it pulling the trigger to get that 1200 rounds per minute. And now here's another example of controlled recoil and accurate fire. Now, as you guys can tell, the one on the left and on the far right are the ones you guys want to be going for, and the one right in the middle is the one you want to avoid. Avoid that increased recoil to make this weapon precise, accurate, and controllable. The magazine size is 30 rounds plus 1 in the chamber, and there's nothing more about that. Alright, so now let's take a look at the recommended setup I have for the AN-94. There really isn't much more we can do to this weapon to make it even more accurate, and the only way we can do it is through the heavy barrel. Now, adding the heavy barrel will make it 100% accurate, and I'm saying that again. Adding the heavy barrel will make it 100% accurate when aimed down sights. Now, does that mean recoil? That means your shot will always go 100% of the time where you are aiming with a heavy barrel. Keep that in mind. The bipod is there for stability, and the Cobra is there because of its very open sight picture. Using the AN-94, you need precision. You need to know where your enemy is. So using the Cobra red dot sight, you can have a very open sight picture, and you can find your target fast and kill them effectively. Now, I really don't have any other last minute tips for the AN-94, but the only thing I can say to you guys is to use that accuracy to your advantage. Line up your shot and make sure all of your shots count, and just make your shots count. That's all I can say. You have to use the accuracy of this weapon to your advantage. Otherwise, you will seriously fall behind the rest of your teammates and even the other team. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of the Armory, and next time I'll be covering the FAMAS and the AEK971, the two high fire rate assault rifles. There are Twitter and Facebook links down in the description so you guys can follow me on there. And as always, rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. And now, just in case you guys missed it, here's last time's episode of the Armory. It was the F2000 and the M16A4. Twitter, Facebook, and if you guys have yet to, make sure you subscribe. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.